Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Sneaker Updates. This will be Sneaker Updates number 50. We finally made it. For those of you who may be new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Essentially, in these videos, we do go over a variety of sneakers, those of which received updates throughout the week. For example, some of those may potentially include some Jordans, Yeezys, and more. But with that short intro out of the way, why don't we jump right into the first update. Kicking it off, we got official images for the grade school Jordan 1 mid pink courts. These will drop throughout early spring for $90. There should be easy lunch money to be made with these, at least sizes under 5.5, with a terrific margin. So be on the lookout for these in stores and online when spring does come around. Now moving on, we got an in-hand look via GC911 at the Chinese New Year Jordan 1 lows. These will be dropping in February. Now, not only do they have a very unique color combination, but they are also limited to only 5,000 pairs and are indeed numbered. Now, moving on from those, in addition to the $2,000 Jordan 1 Diors that are dropping in April, we now have a Jordan 1 low variant that will also be dropping in April. So, of course, now we have two to look forward to, those of which, of course, are going to be extremely difficult to get despite the high retail, and they will still be very profitable. Now, finally, to end it off for Jordans, and then we'll jump into Yeezys because we got a lot for Yeezys. We have a Jordan 1 mid releasing soon in women's sizing, those of which are the iridescent mids. Now, keep in mind with women's mids, you want to focus on sizes that are very small or very large in comparison to men's sizes, where it's only going to be the smaller men's sizes that you want to focus on. But anyway, with Jordans out of the way, why don't we move right on to some Yeezys, because we got a lot to talk about. Kicking it off, according to Yeezy Mafia, the Yeezy 350 V2 Flax will drop in spring for $220. These honestly don't look too different than the blend between a sesame and a butter Yeezy 350 V2, and what's even more unfortunate is that that's not the end of it. Even worse, we will also be seeing the Yeezy 350 V2 Sulfur, then we will also be seeing the Yeezy 350 V2 March, all of which look very similar. Moving on, another 350 dropping will be the Yeezy 350 V2 Linen. Same as the others, they should drop in spring for $220. Then we'll also be getting the Yeezy 350 V2 Earth, images via Wave God the Legend. Finally, for 350s, we will see another reflective pair. This will be the Yeezy 350 V2 Cinder Reflective. These also drop in spring of this year, images via Hanzuying. Now, with 350s out of the way, let's move on to some more interesting news, because although Yeezys are very saturated right now, there's still a lot of profit to be made, and there's still a lot of exciting Yeezys to be released. So kicking it off, moving to more interesting news, the Yeezy 700 MNVM in black and orange will be dropping February 28th for $220 according to Yeezy Mafia. Unlike the 350s, these won't just be lunch money. These will certainly have a good margin, since the retail will only be $220 in comparison to the normal $300 on Yeezy 700s. Now, these aren't even 700 V3s, those of which have a retail of $200. These are just normal 700s, but instead of $300 as the retail, it's only $220, so you can't complain about that, of course. Then the same goes for the white bone pair, which will drop in spring of this year. I'd also venture to guess that in addition to all those three pairs, we'll also see many other colorways in this similar silhouette. Now, finally, for Yeezys, just to end it off, courtesy of Pirates, we have a mock-up of the Yeezy 700 Quantum Barium, which will be all black, set to release later this year. But anyway, with Jordans and Yeezys out of the way now, why don't we move on to some miscellaneous sneakers, because we're not done here. So kicking it off, the Air Max 97 Golf Grass drops January 27th for $190. Past Grass Golf Air Max have done very well, despite the normal Golf Air Max 97s doing very poorly. So it'll be certainly interesting to see how these fare, considering the last Air Max 97s were very bad, but Grass Air Maxes in general have just been terrific. So if you do want to go for these, it's important to keep in mind that Nike does do free returns. Moving on from those, February 16th, the Nike Adapt Basketball 2.0 will drop finally for $400. Of course, a very hefty retail, but that is due to the technology that is inside of this sneaker. Now, moving on from those, this is very cool in my opinion. So Nike is going to be releasing a Vaporfly Next Percent and using their previous brand name, Blue Ribbon Sports, for inspiration for those of you who don't know, Blue Ribbon Sports is what Nike used to be called before changing the logo and their name to Nike. Now moving on from those though, courtesy of High Snobiety, we have an in-hand look at the new Sacai Nike Pegasus Vaporfly collaboration. I'm personally very happy to see that they're expanding to new silhouettes, and it's not just going to be the Sacai waffle and blazer, but now hopefully in addition to these Pegasus, we will also see some other silhouettes, perhaps more running sneakers. So regardless of what you think about these, if you think they look nice or you think they look very ugly, one thing you can count on, they are going to be very profitable and they will hold a good margin. So that's just something else to look forward to this year. Last but certainly not least, according to Pirates, we now have a release date for the SB Dunk Low Travis Scott collaboration. These will be dropping February 29th for $150. I'm very excited for these, not exactly for a personal pair, but just because I know with the retail being only $150, not only are these going to be extremely profitable, but they're going to have a terrific margin as well. So obviously, you're going to want to get as many pairs as you can, but if you do want a personal, let me know what you think about this colorway in the comments below, because I must say it certainly is very unique. But anyway, with that last update out of the way, I am going to conclude it for today's video, so feel free to leave a like if you did enjoy the video or you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also, subscribe and turn on post notifications just so you stay 100% updated on any of the sneakers I mentioned in today's video or for future hyped releases. With that, I'll see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
I should have run the other way. Now there's just one thing to say. Get your foot off my foot. Get your foot off my foot. Yeah. Get your foot off my foot.